After 4 seasons, Netflix's Sex Education has finally come to an end. The British comedy drama, which is currently streaming on Netflix, started out as a series about a student who, with his buddies, builds his own sex therapy clinic because he is a sex freak. But as the 4 seasons progressed, the show became into an adolescent drama that examined topics of mental health, sex, and sexuality. Many of the characters are starting over at the beginning of the final season because Moordale, their previous school, closed at the end of the 3rd season. The show has a satisfying and emotional conclusion, even though it doesn't conclude with a graduation or a glimpse of what the major characters will become. However, did viewers walk away from the Netflix season finale with more questions than answers? Here is everything you need to know about the Sex Education Season 4 ending. Beginning in a manner reminiscent of Sex Education, the grand finale features a terrible attempt by someone to experience ecstasy. This time, impoverished Roman takes the time to plan a sentimental surprise for Abby. To escape the situation, Abby purposefully put a candle on the floor and lit a small fire because she didn't want to have sex. Maeve's leaving breaks Otis's heart. He throws an epic fury when he learns that Jane was the one who urged her to return to America. O apologizes in a video, but she doesn't say sorry to Ruby, the one she harmed the most. Her peers naturally think her video is bogus. She didn't take out a ukulele, at least. Following their dramatic blowout in the last episode, Jo returns to Jen's place to bid her farewell and take a shower. While Jo is leaving, Jean encourages her to stay and gives her the money she needs to pay off her debts. Even so, Jo tells Jean what a fantastic mother she is before leaving. Jackson wakes up in the morning and knocks on the man's door who wrote the letter to his mother. Jackson was told to leave his property by the prospective father. In addition, Jean acknowledges her grief at Jacob's passing, and Jo acknowledges having slept with Dan. But because of his strange toes, she no longer likes him. In the meantime, Cal's mother awakens to the greatest nightmare of a parent. Cal has vanished, and their whereabouts remain unknown. At Cavendish, today is monumental. It's not just O and Otis election day. It's also Eric's church's major college fundraising event. Eric is prepared for his baptism at the beginning of the episode. However, his pastor informs him that, due to homophobia, the church has chosen not to take funding from Cavendish College when he arrives. Amy and Isaac are getting ready to perform their artwork at the fundraiser. Isaac tries to kiss her, but she can't since she still finds it difficult to be intimate after being assaulted. As everyone on campus looks for Cal, Roman talks to Otis about his sexual issues with Abby. One of the fast food employees remembers seeing Cal, which gives the search party a break. Michael seeks out Adam at the farm and apologizes for being a bad father. Adam is about to give Michael his first riding lesson when the two embrace and Jem encourages him to come along. Adam informs Jem he's bisexual after the session, and they decide to go on a date. Michael goes with Adam when he comes home that evening. It appears that he is becoming more open to the prospect of his parents reconciling. Eric addresses the gathering with a moving and courageous speech just before getting baptized in the pool. Declaring his intention to get baptized only if the community will embrace and love him for who he is, he comes out as a proud homosexual man. Everyone else in the church remains silent as his mother stands up and declares her love for him just as he is. While Ruby is reviewing the security tape back at the mall, Aisha and Roman start to turn on Abby. They've had enough of her unwavering forced optimism, so O works her therapeutic magic and tells Abba that it's acceptable to express bad feelings on sometimes. It turns out that Roman's strange kissing noises and the ineffectiveness of the all-natural toothpaste he's been using are the reasons Abby stopped seeing Roman. O finally approaches Ruby and apologizes to her in the midst of all the mayhem. Ruby accepts with grace. After receiving a tip about Cal, the group locates their backpack and phone in the trash. God, who appears to be the homeless woman he assisted a few episodes before, takes Eric's phone as he leaves the church and informs him that by declining the baptism, he did precisely what she wanted him to do. Eric does, in fact, unironically encounter God. He makes the decision to become a preacher as a result of the meeting. And of course, Eric found Cal through God. Although they are physically safe, they are having mental health issues related to their gender identity and fear that no one would accept them for who they are. Before sending Cal home, Eric and Jackson do their best to reassure and console him. Maeve gets some amazing news at Wallace. After Maeve's roommate Ellen showed her writing to a book editor she met, the magazine expressed interest in seeing more from Maeve. She then visits Thomas Malloy and informs him that she nearly changed her mind and returned to her original path because of his remarks. Jean interrupted broadcast as someone else was ready to take over and declared she wanted her podcast back. She also makes a few fair asks for her involvement. At last, Jackson finds out the truth about his father. It comes out that he is the offspring of his mother's romance with a married Jerome. They told him a falsehood about the sperm donor in an attempt to protect him. It comes as no surprise that he finds the news upsetting. Later on in the day, Otis goes looking for Eric and says he's sorry. Joanna phones in during Jean's show and admits to being mistreated as a youngster by one of her mother's boyfriends. After that, she makes the decision not to board the bus and carry on living as a vagrant. Amy devises a therapeutic method to move past her attack. She dresses in those pants, goes to the bus stop, snaps a few self-portraits, and lights them on fire. It was determined by Cavendish College to gather funds for Cal's major operation. They express gratitude to Aisha for the news, but they don't feel prepared to go to the function. Go persistently tries to speak with Viv throughout the show, but she tells him to leave with bravery. Viv's charity night gets off to an incredible start. She warns Bo to stop bothering her and says she will report him if he does not stop. Nobody is shocked when Connor wins the election. However, he feels that the job of student therapist would be too demanding. The runner-up Otis declines the position, realizing that it wasn't right to attempt to undo all of O's hard work in assisting Cavendish kids with their sexual difficulties. But Ruby steps in and offers a heartfelt speech about second chances just in time to stop O from being booed off the stage. As he joins the celebration, Eric's pastor declares that he is open to further discussions about how to make the church more welcoming. Amy and Isaac are having sex in the darkroom, while the majority of the students are dancing. Jackson had a heart-to-heart with his mothers in the series' last moments, and he begins to accept his paternity. Their mother assures Cal that they have nothing to answer for after he apologizes for troubling her. It appears that Roman changed his toothpaste, and he's having fun while getting undressed with Abby. Eric and Otis play video games together till late at night. Otis returns home the following morning and expresses his regret to John for yelling at her. He expresses his pride in her for receiving mental health assistance. Dan bursts in the door, interrupting their precious family moment. Jean has made up his mind to inform him that he is his father. At the end of sex education, Otis reads a letter written by Maeve. She expresses gratitude to him for helping her develop self-confidence. She became the driven young woman she is today because of their clinic at Moordale Secondary, which served as a spark for her heart to open to the outside world.